Hello, and welcome to part two of my sampling through 1 ounce sample bottles of some rather limited bottlings of stuff from Guadeloupe. And what we have got is basically all aged stuff. We've got aged versions of Bielle and Longueteau from the previous video, so I'm going to pour those. And also something from a distillery that is new to me. This is Montebello. This is 2010. Bottled in 2021. So approximately 10, maybe 11 years old. Yeah, I don't really know anything about these folks. So the distillery it's like Longueteau. It's on Basse-Terre. It's the westernmost island in Guadeloupe, the big volcanic one. It's a little bit further north. It's kind of the east central region of the island. And this is probably one of the most secretive distilleries in the Caribbean. I think it's family owned. They've been around for a while. They've been founded. They were founded in like 1930 or so. And the fun thing about these guys is they are a multi-column Agricole rum distillery. So they have two columns. They're distilling to about 85% as opposed to the 70, 72, 75-ish you're going to find in the rest of Guadeloupe. So I am no idea what barrels this is in, but it's a 10-year-old, tropically aged. And I am darn excited to try this. It's a Brut de Fût, so no water added. 45.3%, so the Angel's got a good helping of this. Let's see what we got. Ooh. What I'm getting is some interesting kind of slightly industrial notes. It's not Corona like. We're not getting that crazy, but there's a little bit of like a tire fire component happening here alongside a nice dose of kind of vanilla English breakfast tea, Darjeeling tea as well. So different kinds of black teas. A little floral character to this. I mean, it reminds me kind of I mean, it doesn't make me think of Guadeloupe, first of all. This really makes me think of like some kind of cross between, say, older Barbancourt, like the Barbancourt 15 and some of the Claren Anciens I've had. Not the crazier ones, the more kind of buttoned up old Clarens. Which sort of makes sense. I mean, this is more refined column still cane juice rum, so it's closer to Barbancourt in that respect, but it's going to have a little bit more character to the distillate. Yeah, there's some kind of berries going on, some nice kind of dried fruit characteristics. But really, it's the black tea and maybe a hint of pepper that's really ruling this. All right, let's see what happens on the palate. Yeah, nice. Really nice. Kind of makes me think of what I wish Barbancourt, or aged Barbancourt at least, was, and really isn't. I mean, so this is bringing a lot of, a lot of pepper, a lot of gunpowder, a lot of stewed black tea, English breakfast tea, Darjeeling, dried fruit notes, kind of blackberry notes. No, I'm sorry, blueberry notes, not blackberry. Um, and just a little hint of like Coroni style fire, tire fire. Um, More than you get in like Barbancourt itself, or the sort of Cuban style rums like Havana Club, but we're not approaching actual Coroni levels at all. These don't really feel like French oak to me. I'm guessing these are ex-rum barrels, actually. I don't know what else they would be. Um, Peppery, nice. I'm interested to see what this does with water. It's got the oak. It's got some nice grip on the back end. Um, it isn't really throwing a lot of cool tertiary characteristics at me. It feels maybe a hair thin on the palate, but there's a lot there. I mean, the best I can describe it as is like a better version of older Barbancourt. Um, so I'm very curious to see if this gets more interesting with water. We shall see. But for now, we're moving on to the Bielle of our group. This is the Bielle Brut de Fût 2014. 56.5% alcohol by volume. And so this was obviously distilled in their column still from cane juice. 7 years old, bottled in 2021, just like the Montebello. But the barrels are apparently a mix of, I have notes for myself here. It's a mix of bourbon barrels and also what they're calling great sweet white wines. So maybe Sauterne, Tokai, Riesling, I don't know. But dessert white wines is basically what you're getting here. Could be like Swedish sherries for that matter. I don't know. Dessert white wines. France is more likely, probably. So, because like technically Guadeloupe is part of France, but we'll see. On the nose, definitely a fair dose of bourbon cask here. There's some vanilla going on. Little touch of sawdust. It's not particularly obnoxious, but it's there. And there's lots of other things going on here, but give me a second to kind of tease them out. There's a kind of golden raisin aspect to this, not like regular raisin, like they come in the little red boxes with the lady on it. This is golden raisins. Certainly some white pepper, some like topsoil going on. It feels actually a little bit congested, like that like there's more going on that's actual than is actually coming out. I wonder if this was not just a blending of different casks, but maybe a finish. Like they finished bourbon cask Bielle in whatever their sweet white wine was. Because that kind of finishing can sometimes create the kind of congestion I'm smelling, but I don't know. It smells nice. I'm not getting sort of particularly distinctive cane juice rum notes out of this. Maybe some herbaceousness, a little bit of floral action happening. Dried apricot. I'm assuming that's from the barrel. All right, let's see what happens on the palate. Oh, that's pretty good. It's nice. I'm not sure if I like it as much as the unaged BLs, but this is nice. What am I getting? So the only complaint I would have is the distillate isn't really talking all that much here. I'm getting a lot of oakiness. So vanilla, raisins, golden raisins, apricot, black pepper, curry powder, nutshells, stewed tea, definitely. English breakfast tea in particular. Some dirtiness, some like mud, some subtle minerally notes, a little bit of fennel happening. I'm guessing that's the distillate trying to kind of push through a little bit. It's good. If you handed this to me and like the only problem with this is if you handed this to me and told me it was a Sauterne finished bourbon or a Sauterne finished rye or something like that, I would totally believe you. Like this doesn't really scream rum to me, particularly not cane juice rum. But yeah, it's certainly good. I'm gonna see what happens when I add a squirt or two of water to this. 1, 2, let's do 3, go from there. I'm curious to see, if the rum is going to come out more when I add water to this. Who knows? Anyways, I shall come back to that. No, half a squirt more. Sorry. Delay of game. All right. Last up, Longueteau Genesis. Again, why not Esther? Longueteau Esther. Sorry, joke from the previous video. Longueteau Genesis 2016. This is the aged version, and it was apparently aged for 4 years in French oak barrels. Interestingly, this still has a hella strong strength to it. It is 71.7% alcohol. So this is hazardous material by the legal definition. Let's see what we got. Oh, one more thing. This was like the Genesis Blanc I just reviewed. This is all red cane from a particular plot, the plot number 9. Don't know where that is, but apparently it's special. Sorry, back to my notes. Sorry, this is... I mean, all of these are kind of hard to get a beat on, but this one in particular. So there's certainly a dustiness to this, a spiciness. There's a kind of like a spiced tea aspect to this. Black pepper, curry, cardamom, cinnamon. Little hints of like fig and maybe a date or two. I'm certainly not getting the kind of savory notes I was getting on the unaged Longueteau, but maybe that's okay. Okay, maybe a little bit of fennel here. More black licorice than fennel, really. It's like a kind of black Twizzler sort of thing. splash of brine, splash of seawater. It comes across as really intense and spicy, that kind of spiced tea thing. But it's hard to make out the particular details. All right, I'm going to see what happens on the palate of this. Interesting. So kind of the same story on the palate. It's hard to kind of nail this one down. The one thing I will say, I don't think I mentioned this on the nose. So with the unaged versions, I was talking about how like they just smell and taste less boozy than they are. Like they push up into the 70s and don't feel like they're past 60%. This one does. Like this absolutely feels like it's a walloping strong rum on the nose and on the palate. Yeah, again, it's the kind of spiciness that's defining this. Cinnamon, cardamom, a little bit of allspice, black pepper, definitely. Even a touch of Tobonjan, actually. There's a little bit of like Sichuan chili paste happening. English breakfast tea. But then the rum, the distillate is kind of reasserting itself. No savory notes really to speak of, but there is a lot of salted black licorice, plus some fennel, plus one black olive and a ton of seawater and a couple of rocks in there as well. This is throwing me a little bit of that hippie toothpaste note that I like so much. Fennel plus mint, but the mint is a little bit subdued. I didn't talk so much about the finish of the previous two because they felt so well constructed. This one, not so much. It kind of, it's sort of as you would expect of something this young, 4 years old. It mainly hangs around the front of my mouth. It doesn't go any deeper than my molars. Past that, it just kind of disappears. I imagine water will help with that, but we're going to have to see. So here we go again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squirts. I'm guessing we're going to need close to 7. Yeah, 7 squirts. And we'll come back to that in a second. Whew. I have to say, of this entire lineup of 6, trying these neat, this one absolutely feels the hottest and the nippiest. In spite of the fact that it's actually less alcoholically powerful than this Blanc version, which was, almost a full percent. Actually, yes, a full percentage point stronger ABV wise. Okay, let's go back through these. See what we think. Back to the Montebello, 2010. And really, I'm curious to see how all these react with water, but this one in particular. Ooh, nice. Okay, we're getting much more kind of blueberry pie sort of character to this. Yeah, blueberry pie and tire fire, really, which I'm enjoying. Nice. It's peppery. It's kind of earthy, minerally. It still kind of feels like what I wish Barbancourt, an imaginary Barbancourt 10-year-old was like. But but just more kind of blueberry stuff going on. And I'm happy about that, and I'm enjoying it. Let's see what happens on the palate. Oh, totally solid. Really good. Um, Absolutely brings it. On the arrival, but really carrying the entire way through is that kind of blueberry pie thing I was talking about. But kind of right alongside that and kind of intermingling with it is the tire fire. The kind of black teas, the black pepper, the spiciness. This is a really solid old rum. Yeah, that's nice. I'm not going to go super duper mega crazy with this. I'm going to give it, no, that's not generous enough. 86 plus. 86 plus points for this. Really nice little rum. Refined. Good long finish. Just, it feels really nice and well made. Is it the most kind of distillate forward rum I've ever had? Absolutely not. But, I mean, if you like your rum, your cane juice rum, with a big old dose of oak on it, here you go. This one is very good, and it doesn't taste like a bourbon, which is just, that's the big pitfall you want to avoid, and this one avoids it. I'm going to try that again. Does it really deserve that plus? No. 86 flat. Sorry, correcting my score. Got a little excited. It's a nice rum. 86 flat. No plus, 86 flat. Moving on. If you were noticing, that's a lower score than I gave any of the unaged runs I reviewed in the previous video. Yes, that's the case. Please take note of that. All right, on to the Bielle here, the 2014. Now with several squirts of water. Yeah, nose is kind of the same. Brings the water brings out the black pepper a little bit, just kind of a general spiciness. But I mean, this is a mixture of bourbon barrel and dessert white wine barrel, and it kind of smells like a mixture of bourbon barrel and dessert white wine barrel. Distillate isn't doing a whole lot. I may be getting like one salted black Twizzler in here. But really, it's all about the vanilla and the black tea and the kind of golden raisins and apricots and a little bit of spiciness. And it's nice. Let's see what happens on the palate. Also, kind of a lot like it was before. Not a lot of development, which is okay. It was nice before, and it's nice now. I'm struggling to nail down any particular development. Maybe the pepperiness has upped itself a little bit, but not a whole lot. This is still really about those kind of bourbon cast notes, char, vanilla, black tea, all that stuff, meets nice dessert cast notes with a little bit of earthiness, maybe like some salted licorice to kind of remind you, hey, this is a rum. Let me try the Montebello one more time. Nah, I'm gonna give these the same kind of score. I'm also gonna give the Bielle 14 86 points. It's very solid. It's a good effort. I am enjoying sipping this. Is it as good as standard Bielle Blanc? No, it is not. But you know, it's in its own kind of very cask-driven way. It's right up there with the Montebello, which is kind of more, more burned and tire fiery and grungy. They're both good though. So let's leave that there. Move on to Longueteau. Longueteau Genesis 2016, 4-year-old, now with some water. Believe it or not, the nose actually smells more nippy with water than it did without. Not a whole lot of development. It still feels very kind of quiet on the nose, honestly. I'm getting some more cherry elements to this, or rather more almost cherry wood, like cherry hardwood smoke or something. Yeah, gets kind of a little withdrawn on the nose actually with water, which is a little bit annoying. Let's see what happens on the palate. Give this another squirt of water. But yeah, my initial thought is not so much. This feels very prickly. There's some nice kind of cherry notes going on. A little blueberry happening. Fig. Definitely some spiciness. But yeah, it definitely feels like just young and a little raw. Okay, there we go. Cinnamon, cardamom. Definitely some tannins. But it hasn't really improved in a way that I like with the addition of water. It's I hate to say this because it's such a cliche on kind of whiskey tube and kind of spirits YouTube-y stuff in general, but I feel like this is too young. I would love to see this again in 2, 3, 4 years. It's nice. It has character. It's bringing that spiciness. Definitely a lot of cherry now. It's just a little bit too raw. I'm going to give this 84 points out of 100. And it is not the winner of today's event. Actually, really, none of these are really the winners of today's event, because the winners of today's event are the ones in the previous video. Part 1 with the unaged rums. So if you're watching this and you have a particular aversion to spirits that do not have color to them, because you think they are less flavorful, get over it and buy yourself some unaged rums. These are nice. I would totally drink these, but they're more expensive than the unaged versions, and I don't think they're as good. Okay, so that's what we got. The Montebello 2010, 86. 86 as well for the Bielle 2014. And Longueteau Genesis 16. It's just a little bit too raw. 84 points out of 100. Thanks for watching, and cheers.